Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill that isn't plugged in? You're sweating, you're exhausted, but when you look around, you haven't moved an inch. You're stuck in a life that's going nowhere, working harder than anyone you know, yet somehow falling further behind. This is the story of a man who lived that reality every single day. He was invisible, broke, and completely trapped. But then, he stumbled upon a single brutal habit that didn't just change his life, it shattered his old reality and built a new one from scratch. In just 90 days, he went from having nothing to having a future. And what he did in the quiet, dark hours of the morning might just be the wake-up call you've been praying for. Before we dive in, I want this to be a two-way conversation. Let me know in the comments. What is the one thing you feel is holding you back right now? Is it money, fear, or just not knowing where to start? Your story might be the inspiration for our next video. And if you're ready to transform your own life, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get into it. Meet Vegas. At 28, he wasn't just broke. He was broken in a way money couldn't fix. He worked the overnight shift as a janitor at a massive, echoing bus depot. While the city slept, he mopped floors and wiped down seats. His uniform was faded, his boots were duct taped together, and his apartment was a cramped studio above a noisy laundromat. The constant hum of the dryers was his lullaby. He collapses onto a thin mattress. His paycheck was a cruel joke, disappearing the moment it hit his account. But the poverty of his bank account was nothing compared to the poverty of his spirit. He felt like a ghost. Every morning, as he trudged home past cafes, filling up with laughter and conversation, he felt the invisible wall between him and the world. He'd see men and women in suits, sipping coffee, typing on laptops, and a painful question would echo in his mind. Is this my ceiling? Is this all I'll ever be? He wasn't lazy. He worked harder in one night than most people do in a week. But his hard work was a hamster wheel, not a ladder. Vegas's phone rings. It's his father. His only real anchor was his father, who still lived in their tiny hometown, hours away. His father never complained, but Vegas could hear the worry in his voice. "Son," he'd say, "I just want to see you settled. I want to know you're okay before I'm gone." Vegas would always promise, "Soon, Papa. I'm working on a plan." But the crushing truth? There was no plan. There was only survival. Then, on a bleak Tuesday morning, the call came that changed everything. It was his father's neighbor. His father had collapsed. By the time Vegas got to the small-town clinic, his father was pale and frail, connected to machines they couldn't afford. The diagnosis was exhaustion and a heart condition exacerbated by stress and a lifetime of worry. Worrying about his son. His father held his hand, his grip weak. "Vegas," he whispered, "don't let my life be your future. I spent my whole life being tired. Don't just survive. Live. Promise me." Vegas steps outside the clinic into the pre-dawn darkness. It's quiet. A dog barks in the distance. He looks up at the fading stars. Vegas sat outside that clinic, the weight of his father's words pressing down on him. It was 5 a.m. The world was silent, holding its breath. He wasn't just sad, he was furious. Furious at his own powerlessness. And in that silence, a decision crystallized in his gut. It wasn't a wish. It was a vow. "No more," he whispered to the empty street. "I don't care how. I'm getting out." Vegas on a crowded bus back to the city. He sees an older woman, impeccably dressed, reading a book and writing in a notebook. On the long bus ride back, fate gave him a nudge. Sitting across from him was a woman named Dr. Eris Thorne. She was a retired university professor, known for mentoring young entrepreneurs. Vegas recognized her from a local news segment. He was shocked to see someone so accomplished on a bus at dawn. He gathered his courage. "Excuse me, Dr. Thorne? Why are you on this bus so early?" The woman looked up, her eyes kind but sharp. "Because 5 a.m. is the only time the world doesn't demand anything from me," she said with a smile. "Those early hours belong to you. Once the day starts, everyone else owns your time. I use it to read, to think, to build my own castle before I have to venture out into everyone else's. I'm a janitor, Vegas confessed, the words tumbling out. I work all night. I sleep all day. I feel like I'm sleeping through my own life. Dr. Thorne nodded, her expression thoughtful. You're not sleeping through your life, Vegas. You're just living in the wrong time zone. Listen to me. The hours between 5 and 7 a.m., they're magic. They're unclaimed territory. While the world is asleep, you can build the life you want, brick by brick. Dr. Thorne, you work until 6 a.m.? Fine. Don't sleep until 4 p.m. Sleep from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. 5 hours. It's a power nap compared to what you're used to. It's just enough to function. Then, you have the entire afternoon and evening. And here is the non-negotiable part. You wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. She wrote her number on a page torn from her book. If you're serious, and I mean give up your excuses, serious, call me. I'll give you a blueprint. But only if you're ready to do the work. Vegas, back in his apartment, stares at the number. He looks at a photo of his father. He picks up his phone. That night, Vegas called. The next day, for the first time in a decade, he was awake and alert at 11 a.m., sitting in a sunlit cafe with Dr. Thorne. Dr. Thorne told, "You changed your sleep? Good. Most people stop at the idea. You took action. Now, let's talk about what you do in your 2 hours of magic." She slid a napkin across the table. On it was a simple timeline. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., the architect hour for skill building. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., the fortress hour for mind and body. Dr. Thorne, hour 1, you become an architect. You build the skills for your new life. You want a better job? Don't scroll through your phone. You have the entire internet in your pocket. Learn digital marketing, learn basic coding, learn bookkeeping. There are a million free courses. No excuses. Dr. Thorne, hour 2, you fortify the vessel, your body and mind. 30 minutes of movement, push-ups, a run, anything. Your body is the vehicle for your ambition. If it's broken, you're going nowhere. The last 30 minutes, read, plan, visualize. You don't just work in your life, you work on it. Dr. Thorne, 3 rules. 1, zero tolerance. 5 a.m. Rain or shine, sick or tired. 2, lights out by 9 p.m. You can't burn the candle at both ends. 3, the first 21 days are a war. Your brain will scream. Your body will ache. You will have a million excuses. Push through the pain. In 90 days, you won't recognize yourself. She leaned in. Give me 90 days. Show up every single morning. Do the work. If you do, I will help you find a path to a new career. If you quit, don't ever call me again. Vegas's alarm goes off at 5 a.m. His face is a mask of struggle. He splashes water on his face. He sits at a tiny desk, watching a tutorial on a cracked laptop. He jogs in place in his tiny apartment. He collapses back into bed at 7:30 a.m., exhausted but determined. The first week was agony. Every cell in his body screamed for the old rhythm. His mind played tricks on him. Just skip today. You deserve a break. But he'd see his father's face, hear his whisper, and he'd throw off the covers. Then, around day 26, something shifted. He woke up at 4:58 a.m. before his alarm. The dread was gone. The tutorials on data analysis started to click. He finished his first Google Analytics certification. His morning jogs became his favorite part of the day. He started to feel powerful. He was no longer a victim of his circumstances. He was the architect. By the end of month 2, he had 3 certifications under his belt. He'd built a simple website for a mock business. He was leaner, his eyes were clear, and for the first time, he walked with his head up. In his 3rd month, Vegas decided to test his skills. He noticed the depot's scheduling system was a chaotic mess of paper and sticky notes. Using his new data skills, he built a simple digital tracker on a free platform. He showed it to his supervisor. His supervisor was stunned. "Vegas, where did you learn to do this?" "I wake up at 5 a.m., Vegas said simply. Word travels fast. On day 88, The depot manager, a no-nonsense woman named Carol, called him into her office to tell Vegas, "Our logistics coordinator is retiring in 2 weeks. We need someone who knows this depot inside and out, and who actually has the brains to fix our systems. The job is yours. It's a day shift, and the pay is more than double what you make now." In that moment, 88 days of early mornings, of struggle, of choosing discipline over comfort, it all crystallized. He hadn't just learned a skill, he had become someone new. Vegas. "Dr. Thorne, I got the job. I'm a logistics coordinator. I never missed a single 5 a.m. There was a warm smile in her voice. "I knew you would. You had the fire. But remember, Vegas, this isn't the finish line. It's the starting line. Don't you dare stop waking up at 5 a.m. That's not a strategy for getting a job. That's who you are now." 1 year later, Vegas was a different man. He'd been promoted again. He moved his father into a small apartment near him, with a garden and good health care. And every single morning at 5 a.m., he was at his desk. Not because he had to, but because those 2 hours were his. They were the foundation of everything. When new coworkers asked him, "Vegas, you've made it. Why do you still torture yourself waking up so early?" He'd just smile. "Success isn't a place you arrive at," he'd say. "It's a practice you maintain, and my practice starts at 5 a.m. Vegas's story isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about the incredible power of a single, committed choice. It proves that your life can change, not when your luck turns, not when the economy improves, but the moment you decide to take ownership of your time. The difference between where you are and where you dream of being isn't talent or luck. It's what you do with the time that everyone else wastes. From 5 to 7 a.m., the world is on mute. No emails, no drama, no demands. Your brain is fresh. Your willpower is a full tank of gas. This is when champions are built. So here is your challenge, the Vegas Challenge. Step 1. Tonight, set your alarm for 5 a.m. Not 5:10, not 6, 5 a.m. Put your phone across the room. Step 2. Decide on your architect hour. One skill, just one. What is the one thing that, if you got good at it, would change your income? Focus on that for 90 days. Step 3. Protect your 9 p.m. bedtime like it's a sacred ritual. The life you want to build is built in the morning, but it's protected at night. I'm not promising you'll be a CEO in 90 days, but I am promising you this. You will not be the same person. You will be stronger, more disciplined, and more capable. And that person can achieve anything. Vegas had nothing. No degree, no connections, just a choice. You have more than he had. You have this video. You have the internet. You have the opportunity right now. The only question is, will you use it? Or will you hit snooze and wonder, 5 years from now, why nothing ever changed? If you are ready to join the 5 a.m. club and build your own future, hit that like button right now as your first act of commitment. Then, drop a comment below and tell me, what will you build in your first hour tomorrow? Let's create a community of accountability. I'll be right here in the comments with you. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it's not too late. And subscribe, because every week, we break down the exact strategies that real people use to transform their lives. Remember Vegas's words. Success is not a destination. It is a daily practice. And that practice starts tomorrow. Your future self is waiting on the other side of that alarm. Don't make them wait any longer. I'll see you in the next video.